Hey everyone, welcome to the One Window's first ever podcast where we bring you inspiring stories from different people from different professions with different perspectives around the globe. Today we have a special guest with us, Rishab Surana, who is currently pursuing his masters in USA. In this episode, Rishab will be sharing his journey from how he made it to the USA, adapting to a new culture, managing academics, and exploring career opportunities. If you are curious about studying abroad or planning your higher education on your own, stay tuned. This conversation is going to be insightful and motivating. Let's get into the episode. So, today we have with us Rishab Surana, who is a student of Hult International Business School, studying Masters in International Business at Boston, USA. Rishab, welcome to One Window. How are you feeling today?
Thank you so much, Ankit sir. I'm doing very well. I'm doing amazing. It's good to be back in my home city. It's amazing to have biryani here again.
Nice.
It's truly amazing, sir.
We'll come to food as well.
Oh, for sure.
Not
Please
already.
Please do.
All right. So, for the sake of our audience here, I want you to narrate your story.
Sure, sir. Right now, I'm back in my home. At my home, I'm very happy. I've successfully completed my first semester at Hult International Business School in Boston. It has been very exciting for me to even be here. It's a great honor to have myself here on your podcast with One Window. It's truly amazing to be here, and I'm enjoying my holidays. I'm enjoying my vacations.
Good. So, say before we start with any student, we actually plan to do an icebreaker question, and we want to link these icebreaker questions with some real-time scenarios or some fictional scenarios. So, if you were to describe your journey so far with a movie title, what would it be and why?
Amazing question, sir. A movie title for my own experience?
Yes.
Oh, I've got a lot, sir. Mission Impossible. I'm the Tom Cruise.
And why
Khushi,
so?
Kabhi Gum.
So, you have to give me reasons as well.
Oh, amazing.
Right?
Mission Impossible because from the start, when I was even thinking about studying at a grad school in an international business school, it gave me chills down my spine. It seemed impossible. It seemed like a lot of work. It seemed like a lot of efforts that I was not ready for. But bless me, I am at the right place at the right time. One Window Overseas Education has been my go-to. It's been totally and surreal experience. It's totally amazing. And also, if I want to name my own experience, I would say Mission Impossible, sir.
Mission Impossible.
I feel like Tom Cruise right now.
Good. That's a good comparison, actually.
For sure, sir.
So
for the audience, although I look like Nawazuddin Siddiqui.
No, you do look like Tom Cruise as well. It's just that you need a little more scars of after doing all those stunts.
Oh, for sure, sir.
So Rishab, what were your initial thoughts when you thought about studying abroad? Why did that thought come to you, and how did you start pursuing it?
Yes, sir. So, right from my childhood, I was always interested and more lean towards the business world rather than working for an employer. It was a very big thing for me to have something on my own. Coming from a good family, I wanted to build something on my own, have my own great foundations, have my own basic principles of what life gives you. And also having a good family business, I thought it was easy and convenient for me to live my life in a good way. So I wanted just the challenges. I have found myself in situations where I have been bored. I have wasted a lot of time, but right at the perfect moment, I have realized a lot of things, and I think that worked out good for me.
So I'm sure when you were thinking about this of studying abroad and everything about it, you must have given this thought to your family as well.
For sure.
That I want to go abroad and study.
Yes, sir.
What was their reaction?
The first reaction was from my grandmother. She was like, "Chupchap baith ja ghar pe." But for sure, my dad, my mother, and my sister are very supportive. They are always supportive of what I want to do. Even when I introduced the first thought of studying at a grad school, in international school, anywhere, anywhere in the world, although my specifications were to myself, I think it was a bit challenging even explaining them how it works and why I want to do it. And also, it takes a lot of finances, it takes a lot of time, and going away from your family for whatever, like 365 days or 500 days, I don't know. I count it as days, sir. It's totally days for me. Year, I can't do that. So, although, yeah, it is very hard, and still, I although feel a little homesick. My parents feel a little homesick from me, but it's been a great journey, sir. A great learning curve.
I'm sure a lot of preparation might have went into it. What was that preparation like when you wanted to, start your process of studying abroad?
It starts right from your own basic stuff. Like, what do you want from life? What do you want? What do you see? What's your vision? It's not just about like long-term goals, not how you see yourself in 10 or 15 years. Just a short basic plan would work out. 2 years or 3 years, I have given myself the liberty to think how I would see myself in 2 or 3 years coming down from here. So when I saw that, I saw myself in a education environment rather than working with my dad as soon as my age is. I'm quite young. And yes, it's been amazing. I have figured it out, like what I want to study, what interests me, what are my hobbies, except from just the academic. Because studying in a grad school requires a lot except just academic excellence.
It does. Really, it does.
It's not just about brushing up your academic skills or excelling or having good grades. It's an overall experience. It's immense. It's very surreal. It's intimidating. It's very challenging.
Correct.
But it's totally rewarding.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But yeah, for sure, I have faced challenges. Like initially, like I said, it was a mission impossible for me. So yeah, I have faced very challenges from the very start. I wanted to figure out what is the best course designed for me. I didn't want to just go to a grad school to study abroad and just to live the American dream.
Not just to get that degree on a paper.
No, sir. That was never my goal. That was never my goal. I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to step out of my own very comfort zone. And I think deciding to go abroad totally made me anxious. It made me very nervous to think about how I would do, what I would do, and how I would perform in such thriving environments.
Was the preparation too tough than what you thought of?
The
Preparation of things from your mind, from your heart, from the documents and other things?
For sure, at the very first, when you just look at it, you get intimidated, for sure. I don't know if that was me, but I have figured out that a lot of people face the same problem. But yes, when you work through it, when you take the first step, the initial steps are very important. I think the initial steps are very important. When you first think about something, your approach, your mindset is very important. You should have a lot of positivity.
Correct.
A lot of positivity. Don't let yourself get kicked down by just small challenges that you face.
Right.
Like I have had my fair challenges, like in every step of the way, through deciding schools, through deciding which country. I went back and forth between Dubai and USA, and also my visa. It was a bit challenging because there are different visa requirements for UAE and also for US.
Right.
I've had to figure out the STEM, non-STEM courses, what works the best for me, why it works the best for me. And yes,
So what all were their factors, what you incorporated when you shortlisted the institutions or the countries? What were those major 3 factors which you considered?
3 major factors would be, sir, I think. First and most primary is your interest. Go wherever your interest takes you. You don't have to stick whatever you know or whatever you have already learned. You can upgrade yourself. You can go out selling on other courses as well. So that's very important. First of all, you have to have a very clear notion of what your interests are.
Correct.
Second would be to choose the right course for you. It's not about a grad school. It's not about big name, big hotshot schools. like how we talk about Ivy League schools like Harvard and everything, MIT and every school that there is. Obviously, like everyone has a dream who wants to study outside. They dream of Cambridge.
Correct.
They dream of Harvard. They
Stanford,
Stanford,
Oxford,
everything.
many.
But for me, even from the right start, I have not went for that. I have not aimed at Ivy League colleges, although it might have been suitable. It might have
Unlike
not have
other
been suitable.
students who start from the top and then would want to settle where they fit in, you actually wanted to start from the right place where your interests,
Yes.
of course, your interests of those experiences should fit into that institution.
True, very true, so very true. I think I have found a course very well designed for me. I think it interests me very well. I think the coursework is the right amount of challenging and the right amount of intimidating for me to make me thrive, because I'm a very lazy and procrastinating person. But I've killed all that.
Not tell me
I think I've
one
killed
student who is not like that. At least in this generation.
Oh, for sure. I would give you many people who are doing CA. Oh my God, I have seen them like studying for what, 14 hours. My own very own sister, elder to me, she is a CA right now. She's pursuing CPA. That's amazing. I think, yeah, I've seen her study for like 14 hours with a lot of passion. That takes a lot of efforts. I think that I don't have that to sit for 14 hours.
No,
studying.
सबका अलग अलग होता है ना.
True.
Somebody wants to study straight hours to complete their preparation, and somebody can sit down for 2 hours and complete everything whatever they want to.
True, sir.
Specifically when it comes for examinations and assignments.
I think it totally depends on individuals and how they catch up.
So the moment they understand, any individual, if they understand that, this is my key, this is how I can clear things and complete that assignment, that's done.
The best suitable outline for you that only works for you. So everyone has their own dynamic with themselves, how they work with themselves. People like it more casual, people like it more professional. People thrive in a professional environment, people thrive in a casual environment. So there's no right path or there's no wrong path. You just have to work it best for yourself.
Let's rewind 6 months back from here. What was your reaction when you got your first admission?
My first admission, so while shortlisting my universities, I have shortlisted quite a few, approximately 10 or 12. But I have only applied to one school, that is HALT International Business School. Although I've applied at different campuses, but my very own experience was amazing. I thought that applying to just one school, although it's very risky, I think it's too risky. It was almost a death threat for me. That just applying at one school is too much. I mean, it's too big of a risk. But yes, I thought I had the requirements. I had the skills. I had good grades, I think.
Right.
And yes, I thought that worked out perfectly for me.
So if I put a few words in your mouth, if I say, were you anxious when you got this admission?
For sure. Like if you see, like 6 months ago, I was totally very anxious, very nervous, just by thinking about what I would do and how I would do that.
Did you feel fear as well?
Oh, fear was a great component. I think, yes, I think fear can intimidate you very easily. But I think if you work with fear, that's the biggest combo you can have for yourself. Right. I think that having fear is a very great component.
Right.
To grow.
And I think when you talk about fear, this level of fear might have went super peak when it came for visa processing, I guess.
Oh, for sure, sir. I remember the visa week. It was too stressful for me. Right before, like, I started preparing almost 15 or 20 days before my visa was scheduled, even before I have started applying. So I was a bit early on that. I had a little time on my hand. I didn't want to waste it. I wanted to crack the interview. I wanted to crack the visa session. Because yes, visas get rejected. Everyone knows that. It's quite hard to get a US visa or any visa where you want to go. But yes, if you have the right mindset, if you have the right interest, and if you can show the interview that you really want, you're really going there for a purpose and not just to, spend time and have fun. I think that it's a great time.
It must have taken a lot of efforts to arrange all those documents which are required for visa process. It might have, taken a lot of days and hours together for you to prepare things, especially on the finances side and others. So,
Yeah.
did you find that difficult?
Yeah, although the documentation, let it be financial or academic or any admission process, although it does seem sophisticated and very intimidating. I think I have left all of that research purpose on one window. They have helped me a great lot. I mean, right from not just from narrowing down the schools and narrowing down what is the best for me, what would work out the best for me, what my interests are, having conversations with a lot of mentors, not just one, but quite a few. Like I know names on my mouth, I would maintain anonymity for sure. But yes, I guess it's a lot important to discuss with your mentors what would work the best for you. And the documentation, crucially very, very hard.
Right.
Also seems a little sophisticated, but if you're at the right place and if you're on time, I think you can get it straight.
I was about to come to the similar question, How much role here did your advisors play to make things more simpler and easier for you?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think I was just having a conversation with Anurag sir right outside before our podcast began, and he was telling me that I was thanking him for placing me in such a amazing school where I'm thriving so much, and he could tell me that I have transformed. Although I don't believe I have transformed a lot, I've lost weight for sure, but I think I have a lot to learn yet. But for sure, sir, he was telling me that our contribution is just 0.001%. We just push you and you have to do everything. But I believe that 100 out of 100%, I think 50% was one Windows help and 50% was mine. So for sure, for me, it worked the best. How we collaborated on every little thing, on every little element that was needed for me to have that clarity. That yes, I would be at this school doing this. I could see myself doing that. It was amazing, sir. The amount of clarity that I've reached to, that was truly inspiring. Truly inspiring. Not just from Anurag sir, not just from Ankit sir, but I found the team very amazing.
Thank you so much for that.
Yes, sir. Also, I would like to say that I don't want to hard sell anything. I've been to also a lot of other consultancies as well before One Window. And then when I was introduced to One Window, obviously every student has their own perceptions. Every individual has their own perceptions and their views and opinions. But I think even before choosing a consultancy, you have to research what kind of work they are doing. Are they just pushing you, or are they just shoving down courses down your throat? Are they just trying to get you an admission and push you through it? That's a very difficult process to be in. It's a very stressful environment to be in while deciding about schools, what grad school you have to be in.
I'm really happy that you think in those lines. I'm really happy about it. Wanted to understand what went through your journey the moment you got your admission, you got your visa, everything was in place. Now you had to prepare everything for your departure. So, what all went into it when you started your departure, whether it was shopping or flight tickets or accommodation? What all did you go through?
Yes, it started from the very first start, like how people do it, like yes, packing, shopping. That was very interesting for me. I'm a packer. I love to pack. I love to stay organized. I have OCD, and yes, shopping. Maybe it doesn't interest me a lot, but yeah, getting things interests me a lot. Owning things interests me a lot. But yes, shopping, packing, not just that, but even like setting yourself up right from here to there. When you go there, you shouldn't be like, what do I do now? You already should have a lot of things planned. You should have, maybe if you're not staying at your own very campus, if they don't have a accommodation facility, although I think many schools do nowadays.
Yes.
Many schools do have like accommodation like right next to their own campus.
Correct.
But if you're like me, if you're not staying at their own campus, you have to figure it out, like how you're gonna accommodate yourself there. Maybe a flat or a PG or co-living, anything that works out the best for you. Finances, for sure, you have to be very careful on that. You don't want to spend worthlessly left and right.
Absolutely.
You have, because going to an international grad school does requires a lot of finance.
Not correct.
It
Correct.
also does scare you when you
Right.
see at the finances. Like totally, like in a year I would spend this, or it would cost me this.
So two things which you absolutely said very right. One was being prepared before you land there. That might really stop you from getting into any trouble, whether it is the trouble of not getting an accommodation, whether it is trouble of not making the right choices. So absolutely right for a student. So I'm going to jump onto this right away. That what would you suggest a student, you know, who is planning to fly now? Or any time whenever they fly, what all do you want them to be prepared with?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell every student that I know that as students, as newcomers, new learners, we also feel that we also have a preconceived notion about things, about how it's going to look like, how you're going to stay there, what delusion you create for yourself. Everything works out for you though. But I think you should be prepared with how you want to stay there. It's very important to figure it out, like who you want to live with. If you want to live alone, if you do that in a better sense, if you can manage yourself alone, that's amazing. That's a whole together different experience. But if you're living with someone, if you're going with someone, either your friend, either your family member, or anyone, that's amazing. I think you can manage. But even for students who go personally, who go through their own systems,
Yeah, on their own.
on their own,
Yeah,
I think that is quite difficult. It's challenging, but it's not. I think if you figure it out right, if you figure out a good place to stay, I would say one personal advice from me would be, if you're trying to find accommodation, find it near to your school, find it near to your university. That way you save on a lot of time. That way you don't have to spend a lot on transportation.
Right.
That way you're not late for classes.
Right.
That way you can be very accessible.
Right.
Even not, because grad school is not just about classes. You don't know how many times you're going back and forth through a day. Like I have been, my university is a 15-minute walk from my place, but I have went there like 5 times in a day. You never know what happens. You never know what team projects take, what it takes. So you just have to be prepared for that.
To be there just in a quick second. Right?
Quick second. It doesn't have. If you're not finding a good place, if you're not finding a suitable, pricey place for you, if it's too expensive in the downtown, if your school is in the downtown or anywhere close in the main city, I totally get that it could be very expensive.
Unless
living
it
there.
is not too expensive, try to take the accommodation which is nearby to the
Nearby.
school, which gives you a lot of other benefits than just saving some cost.
True.
This
Because
will be the
it's-
right
yeah.
thing to say, I guess.
Yes, sure. Because it's not just about going to school. It's not just
Exactly.
about attending classes.
Right,
It's about involving with your peers,
Right,
going on lunches, going on dinners, going to networking.
This is
events.
what I keep telling to our students, that your education or your master's degree or your studies abroad are not just about being in the classroom. It's all about those experiences and exposures which you get while you're outside the classroom, whether it's into the canteen, the play area, the gym, or those trips which you plan with your friends from the class, right? And one more thing I keep telling them always, I'm sure you will agree with this, that I tell them that if you want to live in a house, live with your own country or city people, so that you can share the food, you can share the comfort which you want in the house. But when you are outside the house, I would suggest them not to be with your own country people. Try to be with other citizens so that you incorporate
Yeah, for sure.
what they think and how critically they solve the problems. Isn't that right?
For very sure, sir. I think I should have listened this line before I went, because this I relate to very much. Because it's not just about having your own very people. For sure, food is very important.
Right.
It is a human necessity. You have to find good food.
Correct.
Either you cook on your own, you do anything for your food necessities. It's very important to have your own very people staying connected to your own culture is very important. You miss out on a lot of things that are back at home. You miss your own family, you miss your friends and everything. I think that's too immense of an experience, but for sure that you don't want to just stick to your own very people.
Right.
Like as you said, inside the house, I'm with my own people. When I step out, I would like to get to know a lot of people, like from every nationality, from every diverse culture. Personally, I would say that I have been in such a diverse background from in an environment. My very own cohort, that MIB cohort, has 77 students, and 76 people are totally from all around the world.
Oh, nice.
Just one from the own very country.
Oh,
And that's, I think, 36 different nationalities.
nice.
That's amazing. I think stepping outside of your home and going either to a school or any networking event or any, even though let it be casual a party, I would say build your relationships early on.
Correct.
Right when you step there, don't be intimidated by the air. Don't be intimidated by your own thoughts.
Right.
That I could not pull this off. I could not talk to him, talk to her, anything like that. Just be very casual. Try to not be vague.
Right.
Try to.
So if we hit a, if we hit a little bit of more reverse gear here, and if I ask you, what was your reaction when you landed there first?
My first reaction, oh god, it's cold. It was definitely
Of course,
cold
that
in
is Boston.
For sure, it was definitely cold. Although it was not winter time then when I landed. But yes, for sure, comparing Hyderabad's temperature to there, it was quite cool. It was so scenic. It was very beautiful.
Nice.
It was.
Was that your first time
open.
in the US?
That was my first time in the US.
Nice.
I've traveled to other countries, but that was my first time.
First time
in the US. For
And it really felt different.
sure. It felt different. Yes.
What did you feel? Were you happy, excited, anxious, fearful? What was it?
It was a total mix of emotions.
Mixed
I
feelings.
was definitely anxious, but I think more than anxious, I was very excited. Because right when I stepped into Boston, it gave me a different sense of being. That I could be something that I was never was. I could be something that maybe when I look a year back from now on, like a year later, if I look back, I would be amazed. I would be transformed. So that's amazing. Having that kind of mentality that no, I would limit myself to these things. I would limit myself to these people. Just be open-minded. Just let yourself go. Just let your very own self go. But keep your values. Keep your own culture. Keep your own discipline. I think that's amazing. I think when you step into a new country, I know how intimidating it can be. I know they are not your people. But yes,
But
embracing.
slowly they start becoming your own people.
For
right?
very sure, sir. For very sure. I think embracing is the most important part. Embracing changes is very important. One thing that I've learned is adapting quickly.
Yeah.
I used to be a kind of guy that would take time to,
To mingle with
Mingle with
people,
people,
or to become an
to get in
extrovert.
my own comfort zone and be an extrovert. So I am an ambivert. I'm not an extrovert. I'm not an introvert.
You change by the
I
situation.
change by the situation. So I figured that out that situations don't change for you. You have to change the situations for you, according to you.
Correct.
So what works the best for you? What do you think are your weak spots? Maybe that's communicating. Maybe that's a casual conversation. Maybe that's a conversation starter. Anything that you think you are a little on the back foot. Work on that. Brush that up. You'll be amazing.
Uh-huh. All right. So while speaking of everything for the first time, how was your first day at the university?
At the university, yeah. I remember the first day I stepped into Boston.
Was it difficult?
The first day at university, I think I reached there like 15-20 days ago in Boston. Right before, I think it was starting at 13th or something, and I was like 20-25 days before.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had in time, I had a lot of experiences. I went out, and then after a couple of days, I went to take a tour of my university. That was the first experience. That was the first time I was stepping in my university. I think even though my classes weren't starting the same very day, I think just stepping into your university and taking a tour there, it's immersive.
Must have felt like this is mine.
university, yeah, the way I've pictured my university, the way I've seen it in pictures, it got so real. It was like I'm standing right there. I used to do this thing. I used to open Google Maps and it had an
Those 3D,
3D,
you
yeah.
know,
When you turn around, it
images.
shows you every
Correct,
element
correct,
of the place. So I have had that experience. I've done like every element in there. But yes, walking through it, totally new experience. Finding out what all facilities you have in your university, very exciting. For the first time when I saw our library, I was too amazed. There were people sitting right there. It was too silent.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I don't even want to make a step sound. And they had a wellness room. That was the first time I was introduced to something like that. A wellness room in a university I think it plays a very important role. It creates that environment in such a stressful environment. If you have a wellness room, even though people might not use it a lot, but
Just by knowing that it is there.
it is there, you feel so stressful. That if I am having a hard day or I'm having a rough day in class, I know that I can go to the wellness room, I can sleep for a while, I can relax for a while. We have PlayStation, we have gaming in our university. If you're bored, if you're ever bored, if you want to take a break from your assignment, you can go and play games there. We have a little soccer field. So we make sure that we regularly step out, even though it's cold. We regularly step out to engage in outdoor activity.
Right.
There's TT, table tennis.
Right.
We play that. There's snooker. I'm a big fan of snooker, so I play snooker there.
Right.
I've figured that out that I don't want to lose my hobbies. I might create new hobbies. I would like. Right now, I haven't been to.
What is that new hobby which you have created in the last 6 months while in the US?
In the last 6 months, I think I have created a hobby. I want to create a hobby of going to games. I think that's very interesting there. I think NBA games, NFL games are very interesting. But I haven't had the opportunity yet. But yes, I think I have picked on new hobbies by. I have never been to any networking event like before here. I have just been to quite a few. And my engagement in that was not too much. But when I went a networking event there, although it was not my course related, I am from international business. It was marketing seminar and a networking event. I just wanted to go there and experience how things get done,
Things work out.
how people talk, how people walk. It's very important to present yourself in a very professional tone.
Right.
I would just say, leave the preconceived notions and just focus on being professional. Teach yourself how to be professional. Teach how you can be punctual. जैसे हमारे यहाँ हैदराबाद में होता है, जैसे हमारी नवाबी है जो हम बोलते हैं कि अभी आ रहे हैं और 2 घंटे बाद आना.
Correct.
That is totally not going to work for you there. Right. If you think you're going to be a little late, inform.
Yes.
Inform beforehand and not just like 15 minutes before. Inform a day before or hours before that.
The moment you
So
realize
people-
that
yeah,
it is
you
going
have
to
to
happen.
you have to learn all those skills. I was not that. Like I have brushed up myself continuously every day that I have to be more punctual. I have to be in class before 15 minutes. I shouldn't be stepping in class when the professor has started talking, because for sure that is distracting.
Correct.
For sure that breaks the flow of the professor, and you don't want to do that.
Right.
Because every class is so valuable.
Right.
Every class is very valuable for you.
Right.
So I think that's very important.
So coming to this part of preconceived notion which you're talking about, what was the most surprising thing which you noticed in your campus or which you felt in your campus which was different than what you expected before going there?
I never thought the environment would be so exciting. I never thought I would be in such an energy. Like I haven't ever, even when I was trying to picture everything about my school, about my city there, about how I was going to live, I think I didn't picture how the energy would be, and that was that caught me. It was an eye-catchy moment for me. The environment was so beautiful, and although it can be intimidating, you just have to be yourself. You have to be very open. कि हाँ ठीक है, नहीं आता कुछ, नहीं आता सीखेंगे आगे जाके, कोई बात नहीं, वैसी बात है. So I think it's very important when you step into the school, you leave all your preconceived notions there.
Right.
That's what I try to do. Like everyone comes with a preconceived notion कि ये लोग ऐसे होते हैं, वो लोग ऐसे होते हैं.
Would this be more apt to say be a Roman when in Rome?
Yeah. I think for sure you got to be a little Roman, or even if you're in Paris, you have to be that fashionable.
Yeah.
For sure, you have to respect their culture. For
Right,
sure, you
right,
don't want to be, offensive to them.
You have to be more inclusive.
Exactly, exactly. You don't have to think about how you have differences. You have to think about your common points. I
Right.
think that's the main key to communication.
And it's also good to know that there are differences. Like somebody
Exactly.
thinks differently. It's not always the way you think.
That was the most eye-catchy for me. Like how my personal opinions and how people's perspectives and opinions are so different about just the same thing. So it gives you a lot of opinions, even if you don't want to follow that, even if you don't like it. It's not that it's being stuffed down your throat. It's like you are knowing about a lot of things. You are stepping in a world where there are people like from all over the world. Everyone has their own thinking. Everyone carries different approaches with them, different perspectives. They have seen lives in different ways. They have come from different backgrounds, culturally, financially. When you feel a little intimidated or anxious, you just have to think that nobody comes with anything. Everyone in a grad school are at the same level when they come. Maybe they might be more professional, maybe they might have more experience than you, but everybody is here to learn.
Right, right,
Everybody is here to learn what they want.
right.
So you just have to see what others are here to learn.
Rather than
You can walk with
being-
your own thing, but you also have to see what others are here to learn. You can also grasp very quickly from that.
Right.
You can adapt very quickly when you see that people are here not just because to learn or to graduate from a grad school. What do they really want?
Correct, correct, correct. Now, moving out a little bit from the campus, going to your accommodation, what options did you had to fix your accommodation?
Accommodations, I think, so my personal experience was me and my sister were going to live in the same place, but we have also went quite different ways. Like I have ditched her, she have ditched me. कि नहीं मेरे को तेरे साथ नहीं रहना, मेरे को तेरे साथ. Because it's very important when you're going in a new third world country that you have experiences firsthand. That you are having that experience and not someone else is doing it for you. So you don't, if you're even going with someone, don't be dependent on them. Never be dependent on anyone. It's a new country, you have to do it all by yourself. I know it can be intimidating and very stressful to think about, but when you're there, you'll do everything. If you're good enough, if you're confident, you'll do everything. That's all right. I mean, look at me. I was not confident like 6 months ago that what I would do, but I'm doing good right now.
So, in Boston for students, what type of accommodations are available?
Yes, I think there are a lot of options. I think even if you don't want to set up a new flat or a new apartment, you can do that. There are good affordable prices like everywhere. Even in downtown, there are a lot of good places in Boston.
Which are affordable
Which
and
are
economical.
affordable, surely, but you also have to do your own very research. Like I have spent endless and endless hours on marketplace, Facebook marketplace. I have spent endless hours on rental websites, and I've talked to like maybe a 50 or 60 different brokers for apartments and for the right suitable apartment for me. So when I remember, we shortlisted 2 apartments for us. That was one in Malden, that was up north, and one was where we currently live. So although it got a little expensive, but I think it was the best suitable because who I was living with, who I'm living with, their place of university is closer. My place is closer. It has to work the best for you. It's made in downtown. It's located in downtown. This Charles River here, I think it couldn't be beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Any beautiful. I am very grateful for that though.
To take a line of advice from this, every student going to whichever city, whichever place, it says that they have to do a thorough research if you find the best one which is suitable for you, or take the options which are available. Of course, they will be little costly, and that will come to as per your expectations and requirements, right?
Although we had accommodation at our place, I think it would be more suitable for me to find another place according to my specifications. And also you have a lot of like we have hostels here, PGs here. I think there are a lot of co-living PGs there too. Also, you don't have to stay with students. You can stay with anyone you want. Anyone you want. It's such a new experience. You learn so many different new things. Although I'm a vegetarian, it gets quite difficult for me to stay with someone else who prefers eating non-vegetarian. For non-veg lovers, I mean, you have a great life there. Anywhere you can experience new food, new cultures, new way of cooking things. Even if you're cooking the same thing, there's ways of cooking. So I think that's very interesting. And even living with someone you don't know, that's very interesting. You get to know them, they get to know you.
Right.
Also, that's not it. You get to know yourself. That's very important. I think being connected with yourself is very important.
Correct.
Anywhere you're going, be just connected to yourself.
Right. You already mentioned to me that your house, the place where you live, is just a 15 minutes walk from your institution. What are the other transports which are available? Let's say if somebody is living in Boston and would like to travel to different places, you want to travel somewhere. What are the transports which are available for students to use and explore the place?
I think the most convenient and the most accessible is the T. We call train station T there. So it's the T. You have cab options, you have taxis, you have Uber there, you have Lyft there, and you can travel by buses. You can travel by
So
public
buses
transport.
and trains are well connected.
Yes, buses and trains are very well connected. Also, there's a new thing that I saw there. They have these Boston Duck tours. That's very new. What I saw. That vehicle works both on roads and in water.
Oh,
Yeah. So when in water, it becomes a boat. And when in land, it has
a car?
wheels. Yeah. It becomes a bus. That gives tours.
nice.
So that's very amazing if you want to just step out in Boston, if you are bored, if you want to make a day, if you want to make a picnic out of it. I think that's very interesting. They give you that surreal experience for sure. And yeah, for sure the tea is very accessible. Like I think there's green line, there's orange line, there's blue line, there's red line.
Oh,
There are like 5-6 different lines. that
so
you
many
can access.
directions.
So many directions. It's connected everywhere.
And how much does it cost to travel in it?
Oh, traveling costs approx $2.5.
Okay,
Right?
very
But
cheap
it's cheap, but
compared
also
to an Uber or
compared
compared
to
to
an
a
Uber, for
car.
sure.
And I'm sure it's not just to buy a ticket every time. There will be apps nowadays.
there are
The QR codes which gets
Yeah.
generated, just scan
And
them. And
yeah, you
move
can
it.
buy a card that's a pass, a monthly pass, a T card. But also, if it's so accessible, I mean, even at the turnstiles, you have an option. There's a digital monitor. You can just tap your phone there. So like we have Google Pay here, we have Zelle there.
Right.
We have Bofa or
Right.
any accounts
Zelle
there.
or
Zelle,
Venmo or
Venmo,
others.
Zelle, and Apple Pay and everything. So you just have to tap, like double click from your phone, and you're done. And you're done.
And there are many options which these days we are also giving it to the students, which can be used as these payment gateways or payment options to the students. I'm gonna put that into the description of this podcast so that the students can use it. It will be as equivalent as using a money transfer apps like similar in India. So we covered the university, we covered the accommodation, we covered the travel. Now let's jump on to something which is a little different. Let's play a game right now. Okay. So let's play a game which is called the emoticon round, and let's have some emoticons here.
Oh, that's great.
Rishab, there are a few emoticons in front of you. Just for the sake of audience, the emoticons are like this. I want you to pick up one emoticon and show your face or expression how it was during this time. So I have a few questions which I will ask you.
God, yeah.
Let me begin with the first one. What emoji matches your vibe on the first day abroad? Nice. Right. So the second one is, how would you react with an emoji when you tasted your first weird food when in abroad?
Weird food?
Weird food.
God,
Oh,
I
nice.
hated that.
What was that? I want to know the dish.
That was something made of dumpling.
Okay.
Oh God, it was gross. It was gross.
So you're not a big fan of
I love dumplings. That's
East
why
Asian
I
food.
tried a dumpling there, but I didn't like the gravy.
You didn't like it. Anyways, so pick an emoji for the moment you realized you had to pay the rent.
Pay the rent?
Yeah.
For
Of course.
Sure, for sure.
I
Every
guessed
month,
so.
me and my roommate, we have this conversation where we just do this.
So you have to pay the rent every month or every 15 days, every fortnight?
No, we do it monthly.
Monthly.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think there are other rent
And they take
agreements, yeah.
the payments, they take the rent with the same modes, no? Venmo or Zelle or account
totally,
transfer.
totally. Even net banking works.
Net banking.
Everything
Nice,
works, yeah.
nice. So what emoji sums up your feelings during your first group project?
During my first group project,
Yeah.
I think it was this.
This?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. What do I do?
Yeah, it was more about seeing people how they converse, how they put their points across the room, how they put their views across the room without being offensive to anyone, even if they have a contrasting view with the other. So it's very important to place your thoughts across the room. That's very important to have your own words, but it's also very important to not offend anyone.
Right, right. That's absolutely right. How would you describe yourself when you cooked something and it turned out bad?
And it turned out bad. So if I cook something and it turned out bad, the first person to taste would be my roommate. So I would look at my roommate and I would do this.
Good, good. What emoji matches your reaction when someone called chai tea?
Chai tea.
Yeah, so no, in India we call it chai, but there they call it chai tea.
Can I use two for this?
Yes, of course.
First would be this, and then I would look at them like this.
How can you embarrass?
Yeah, I was like, what's chai tea? It's chai. Why? Cha bhi bol lo yaar.
And then it was that.
It was that. When I told them it's just call it chai.
Okay.
And they were like, isn't it chai tea? I was like,
good. And the last one, what emoji shows your happiness when you finally found good food like home?
good food like home. I think I might have not yet.
Okay, you didn't find
Outside,
good food
but
like home?
Like home, I cook for
Okay,
myself.
good.
So I was like this to myself.
Wow.
I'll places here.
Nice, nice. So, with all these discussions which we have done till now, what I have observed that of course it was little difficult when you first went in, but do you think things got eased up till now after the day 1 and day whatever it is, day 90 today? Or
For sure. When I stepped in Boston, it was like too much for me. It was very overwhelming. I was missing home. I was very worried about what I'm going to do for the first few days, what I'm going to do when I start my days at university. What's my classroom gonna be like? How am I gonna behave and everything? That matters a lot to me, how I behave. So I think it got a lot easier when I saw myself in a situation there. I saw myself in a thriving environment. I saw the positivity. For the people who are intimidated, for the people who think it's scary, definitely it feels scary. But when you start doing it, when you are there, when you are experiencing it, you see the beautiful things, and all the anxiety disappears for a second. And when you reflect back on what your anxiety was, you start to figure it out on your own.
Right. So when you mentioned about classrooms, what is your experience in classrooms?
I think classroom is not just to come and listen for a professor to talk, or just casual listening. I think you have to be an active listener, and more than that, you have to feel the energy, because there's definitely energy in every classroom. I wouldn't believe that the classroom's low. No classroom would be low
Unless you
everyone
match
is
with that
low.
vibe.
You are the one who can take that opportunity to show everyone what it feels like.
Right. You can make it exciting.
You can make it exciting. So definitely the classrooms are very exciting. They are intimidating. To grow in front of the whole classroom and talk about something, it's very intimidating. You get the chills, you get the nervousness. I have fumbled out. I have made mistakes, but I've learned from that.
Everybody does.
Everybody does.
It's not.
Although
Although
you
something
feel,
which you have to be embarrassed about.
True.
It's all about learning. It's all about how much you learn.
Definitely, my Ankit sir might say this. Don't feel embarrassed. I definitely felt embarrassed when I made that mistake. But I think that yes, you definitely learn from it. You definitely take a lot from it. A lot. And you just have to maintain that positivity.
And what are the subjects are you taking right now? I mean, what were the subjects you completed last semester and what you have it in this semester now?
Yes, so my coursework is Masters in International Business. I have grasped on a lot of coursework from real world business challenges, communicating with impact, design thinking and innovation, a lot of that stuff, global organization management, design, data, business insights through data. and everything of this. So I think, although it sounds quite stretchy, it's a lot exciting.
It's a lot
very
exciting. Every subject
Every
brings
subject is
a
exciting.
new
Every
type of
subject.
excitement,
Totally.
new learning.
Totally. And although, like, what my class felt was communicating with impact and global organization management, not being the main part of the course, but very crucial. They
Are there any
teach-
on-campus part-time jobs available for the
Yes,
students?
yes, for sure. You can apply for teaching assistants. You can apply for anything that you can work anywhere in the campus, not off campus. I would please request to all the viewers that please don't engage in any illegal activities for employing yourself there. It's you can get yourself in trouble. That's all I want to say. So just be sure that you're in your legal limits for doing anything.
Correct. One question which was always being asked to us by the students, and they want, or not just specifically the students, one question which was always being asked by the parents to us, that how are international students, specifically the Indians, are treated in a different country?
I think I think you're representing your country. I think if you're not professional and if you're not punctual, if you're not very serious, I think in any environment it's like that. It's not just like international. Obviously, it makes a lot of difference that you're studying in an international grad school. You will face criticism. You will face a lot of people who have different views, and they might oppose to what you stand for, what you do. So I think yes, definitely, it can be intimidating, but it's not anything scary or like that for the parents. For even my parents, they were very worried about how I would be in that environment. But for
Unless
sure,
you
for
get
sure.
yourself into trouble by doing something wrong, you are in a very safe
You're
place.
in a very safe environment. You're in very good hands. No one does any racism towards you. And the main one thing I found from my own very experience is you don't have to feel targeted. As an Indian, I have seen this a lot, that Indians feel targeted, that they see that only racism is being done towards them. If you don't feel targeted and if you just involve with people, you tell them their own experiences, you just make sure that you don't offend anyone, either by your words or your actions.
Right.
It is very important to stay in an ethical environment.
Right.
And I for sure can say that parents, you don't have to be worried about anything like that. I think it's quite good.
Good. One another experience which, one other question which normally students ask, that does the university help students to get any sort of internships or jobs? How does your institution help you as well as the other students, maybe the ones which have passed out? What is that you got to know so far? How does your institution help the students for internships and jobs?
So either be at Hult or either be at Northeastern, where my roommate is studying. Every university offers you with opportunities such as internships, teaching assistants, or any work that is on campus, maybe on cafes, maybe on any clubs, committees, anything. You can create your own clubs and committees. I have created my own cricket club there with my peers. And it's not just about the opportunities they offer on campus.
Okay.
It's also about grasping quickly what you can do outside of campus. It's not about working off campus. It's just about making that plans after your graduation, what you're going to do.
Okay.
It is very advisable for you to have a plan from the very start, to have that mindset, why you're going, what people are you trying to meet, what people should you be conversing with.
Right.
It's quite very important to find your peer group.
Right. I always tell my students these 5 things. Keep in mind always, whether you are applying to a university, writing your SOP, or going to an institution. First thing, what have you done? Second is, what are you going to do? Third is, what are you going to become after doing all these things? And the fourth one was, what influenced you to do things, and what are you going to influence after completing this course? So keep these 5 things in mind, and you're sorted.
You're sorted.
So these what, why, how, all these things, if you have it clear, things are very sorted.
Yeah, for sure. I think the main one advice from my side would be that SOP is not just a document that you have to, give on to your school or even to your consultancy or someone.
Correct.
you have to create it for yourself. You have to analyze for yourself why I am going to this and this school, why am I choosing this coursework, why I think you should choose me, why I think it's suitable for me, why I think it would influence me, and maybe I can influence others with it.
Right.
So these are for sure, these what, whys, and hows. These 5 questions are the most crucial for any student, be it in US or any other country, any other international country that you're going to. I think it's very crucial for you to figure out your SOP, because that's not just a document; it's your mindset.
Exactly. Exactly. So coming to your experiences back again, what was the most difficult experience which you had, and how did you overcome those? So because the students really want to know what can go worse, and how can you overcome that?
Yeah, I think quite far. It's just been 4 months, and it's quite too soon to tell if I have faced a lot of challenges. I definitely have faced challenges, but not so big that have might made me go wrecking. So not something like that, but for sure that at every stance you get intimidated very easily, because you're even far away from your home, and even it's a new country, new people, new way of doing things. So it's very easy to be feeling intimidated.
Have you ever felt like giving it up and leaving everything and just going
No,
back
that's
home?
the one thing I've always told myself, that I wouldn't give up ever.
Okay.
Even if I'm kicked, even if I take a knee, even if anything, I wouldn't give up. I would.
And
definitely
what
give it
makes
all.
you keep going?
Oh, what makes me keep going? One thing that I said is it might not work for everyone, but for me personally, I think that I have to remind myself what I'm here for
Right.
every day. So what I do is, I have, before going, I've made this simple calculation of my very own, that it would cost me 14,000 each day to spend a day there. So that was very hilarious for me, and although very scary. 14,000 a day for 500 plus 500 plus days is a lot.
Correct.
And I think that every day when I woke up, not voluntarily, but somewhere that thought clicked, that today I'm not going to waste 14,000.
Right.
I'm going to utilize it, and I'm going to do everything that I've dreamt of here. I don't want to come here and just have those thoughts in my mind कि मैं कल ये करूँगा, परसों करूँगा, ये परसों करूँगा. ऐसे नहीं होता.
जो
करना है,
करे
अभी
सो
भागो.
आज करे सो अब.
Totally. Kabirdas ji, this trend works very well.
Correct. So, see, one more question, if I may ask you, is when things were not working really well for you, what was that mantra or that song, or what is it that you thought that, okay, when things are not going right, when things are going south, what is it that you do personally for yourself? I'm not telling this is for others and would work for everybody, but what did work for you?
Yeah. For myself, I have a couple of mantras, very short mantras that I have for myself, that are not religious or something like that. That's for my very own self, that I keep repeating to myself. So I've read this one book which helped me a lot building my own very personality. I think that that's a great book, and everyone should have a read. It's about the power of your subconscious mind. So it's very important to know your very own self, and to know what works the best for you, what mantra you can read to yourself before sleeping or while you wake up.
Correct.
Just one short sentence would work. Or even like if you are not a Nastic for obvious reasons, if you are not an atheist, I think for sure I listen to Hanuman Chalisa, I listen to a lot of
Navkar mantra.
I every day I wake up with Navkar mantra.
Good.
I have that ritual. I do Navkar mantra, I do Ganesh ji ka chota sa mantra, and all. Yes, I think that I have been taught in school. That mantra every day we used to recite in school, in the assembly.
Okay.
So that was Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So it goes a little bit longer.
Now everybody has something which they can hang on to.
I mean, you don't have to follow any mantra like this.
Right.
I mean,
whatever keeps you going.
It's not about religious.
Correct.
It's not about any religious mantra that only keeps you focused on precision.
Right.
But it's more about what works for you, what you are connected to.
Right.
I would definitely say, if you are a follower of Allah, you should definitely preach.
Correct.
You should definitely wake up with a sense of thought that yes, my power is from the very eternal.
Do you see change in yourself in this last 4 months since you've been first in the US and today when you come back? And what feedback have you got from your family on your change?
Yes, for sure. So I think that I have seen a little transformation. 4 months, uh, quite of less time to say that I've transformed. I am in that process. I can definitely see a lot of changes. I am adapting quickly. I have that sense of confidence that I can talk. Before that, I don't think I could even spend 5 minutes talking to you. So I'm serious. I couldn't have.
Okay.
And I've brushed up a lot of
if you
communication
say
skills.
that, then I am really, proud to experience that some help from our side has really made you a changed
Not
person.
some help. I'm telling you that I wouldn't have been this today if it wasn't for your help. I give a lot of importance to who make me.
Right.
So I even have regular conversations with my father, with my mother about. I tell them what's been going on in school, what I did today, what I didn't do today, what I failed at, what I succeeded at, what I got recognition for, what I think made me step back a little. So all that they do give me a lot of good feedback. Sometimes my father is also hard on me. He is very constructive that way. He gives a lot of constructive criticism, not feedback. Criticism. I for sure say that it's very important.
Becomes a advocate's devil there.
For sure, for sure. But I for sure think that yes.
Oh, sorry, I used a wrong term. Devil's advocate.
Yeah, totally, I got that. But yeah, I for sure think that feedback, not just from your parents or from your family, I think even getting it from your peers is very important. Even if you have your own friends or who are very close to you, ऐसा नहीं होता है कि मेरा तू अच्छा दोस्त है तू मेरे को गलत नहीं बोलेगा कुछ मैं जाके जानबूझ के मेरे अच्छे दोस्त से ही पूछता हूँ कि तेरे को क्या लगा मैंने कैसा किया वहाँ पे
Right.
सो वो मेरे को सही से बता सकता है कि तेरी ये स्ट्रेंथ है तूने शोकेस नहीं किया
Correct.
ये करा कर ये मत करा कर या ऐसा
Absolutely, your friends will only tell the right
Totally 100%,
feedback because if they are not your true friends or anybody who would not want good for you, they would always say, "हाँ, everything was good."
एवरीथिंग इज गुड ठीक है बहुत अच्छा किया वाह वाह ही करेंगे ऐसे तो हर कोई वाह वाह करता है किसी को कुछ आने का नहीं है तो दैट आई थिंक इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इवन फ्रॉम योर peers बट मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली फ्रॉम योर प्रोफेसर्स
Right, right.
From
Let's
your
break a little monotony here and talk about food.
Oh.
What was your favorite? Good. What was your favorite food in India before you left from here?
Oh, for the past 2 years, I've been eating a lot of biryani. I love biryani. I'm a vegetarian, although you guys would call it pulao. I would personally track you down and I would beat you up. Please don't call it pulao. It's biryani. Paneer biryani बहुत अच्छी होती है यार. Eat it from good places, not from paradise. You eat it from good places. It's good.
Right.
So,
So
yeah.
has your favorite dish changed after you went to the US, or it's still the same?
It's still the same. My favorite food wouldn't ever change, I think. But yes, I've missed biryani a lot.
Do you get to eat this biryani there?
I've had biryani, but not the
Not the one, the authentic biryani is what you
biryani.
get it here in India.
I mean, it actually could be me that I haven't tried a lot of restaurants there. I've been to a couple of Indian restaurants. I've ordered. I've done takeaways. But yeah, that's all. Okay.
Are there many Indian restaurants there around?
Yeah, there are a lot of good Indian restaurants in Boston.
Around the university
Yeah,
as well?
even near my place, there's Passage to India. There's Godavari. There's. I think I've also been to New York. There's Bhavan.
So you also mentioned you cook
Yeah, I
right,
cook.
in your house. So do you get the ingredients easily? Where from do you buy your grocery, the Indian masalas and everything?
Yes, for Indian masalas, I would advise everyone if you can carry, if you have the space, if you have the luggage, if you're not carrying too much of your clothes and everything, you can carry your own masalas there. Or else you can even go there and buy. You have Indian stores there. Although not too accessible to go, although they might be quite far, you can order online. So that's I think that's convenient. There's no problem there.
Or maybe just going shopping or grocery shopping for every 15 days would also
Yes,
be
totally. So what we do is we go grocery shopping every week or 10 days like that. So to get fresh vegetables delivered or we get it online or something like that. But just make sure that online doesn't work the same as here. 10-15 मिनट में कुछ नहीं आता वहाँ पे टाइम लगता है आधी घंटा वेट करो आ जाएगा लेकिन वही बात है कि थोड़ा पेशेंस तो होना ही चाहिए कहीं दूसरी जगह आप घर पे बैठे बैठे जैसे तो आता नहीं है
What do you miss the most about India when you are there?
The most about India is my people. For sure, I love new people. I love meeting new people. I love getting to know new cultures and everything. बट वो जो हंसी मजाक वाली बात है मैं करता हूँ बहुत मजाक करता हूँ दूसरे लोग के साथ भी करता हूँ आई टेंड टू स्टे वेरी ह्यूमर्ड एंड नॉट ऑफेंडिंग एनीवन बट वो जो नवाबी है हमारे लोगों की दैट आई मिस अ लॉट
Right. No, what you said is absolutely right, and that reminds me of meeting your own people. When I say your own people, people from your country, your city, in the campus. I'm sure you meet a lot of people at the different facilities which are available on campus.
Yeah, for sure. So not just in classrooms, we have we even have accessibility to Halt House. So we can even go there and meet our friends who have been staying there and all. So you can go there, play. There's a gym right down there in Halt House that they provide you with the gym facilities. I think that's very great. I think fitness is one thing that everybody is focused on these days. So I think that's very crucial to have a gym or any yoga or any center near you that you can have access to. Also, meeting different people, not just on campus, off campus is very important. Going to those network events, even if it doesn't, even if you don't want to pick out a lot of things, and even if you are lousy, it doesn't have to mean that you're going to go and do something like that. But yes, it's very important to go outside, step from your own comfort zone, meet new people, meet your own very people.
Correct.
It would keep you in touch with yourself.
Correct. What is that one thing you would want every student going from India to the US want to experience? You want them to experience.
Oh, for sure. First would come the professionalism. I think as Indians, not every Indian is like that, but I think we do lack a little of professionalism as compared to other country people. But I think we are obviously at the upper hand everywhere. Indians are Indians. We are great. We are great.
We can call it that.
Yes, for sure.
We have a little laid back attitude. Because it happens this way here. We have to change that way of approach.
Yes. For sure, you cannot be your own self. जैसे तुम यहाँ बोलते हो कि मैं आता हूँ थोड़ी देर से, वैसे नहीं होता. You have to give them a time and you have to be on time.
Be there on time. Whether it is a casual commitment or a professional
even if you're meeting a friend, and he's from another culture, you make sure that you're meeting on time. You're not late. If you're late, please inform. Yeah, that is not you'll upset him or her. So that's not a quite good way to make friendships. So yeah, I think that is it.
Right. So I have another fun round here, which is called a rapid fire round, and I have a few questions listed for that. So I will ask you the questions. You have to answer either in one word or one sentence, and you have to be quick. Okay, so let's begin that. So yeah, let's start the rapid fire round, and it starts this way. Favorite place you have traveled while abroad?
New York.
If your friend visited you abroad, what's the first place you would take them to?
Charles River.
Sorry?
Charles River.
Right. What's your go-to comfort food in the US?
Ready-made pav bhaji.
Yeah.
Also for the viewers, you can carry ready-made options. That's a lot of availability now. Like in the current market space, you have a lot of options that you can cook in 5 minutes. So that's very great. That's
easy to cook food.
That's my saver. When I don't want to cook food, I just open a packet and have it.
Right. I know I asked this question before as well. I'll ask you once again. One thing you miss the most about India?
Oh, my
family. What's the most bizarre advice someone gave you about living abroad?
Oh, I'm not rapid in this. I think that you cannot thrive in such an environment.
Okay.
It might be difficult for you.
Right. So people said that no, you cannot thrive in that environment. It will be difficult. But you did break that.
I broke that. That thought. There comes a lot of negativity when you tell plans to other people.
Right.
Stick with it.
Stick with your plan.
Stick with it.
Today or tomorrow it will
be
become
confident.
good.
Believe in yourself.
That's good. Sure. One subject you never thought you would enjoy, but you ended up loving.
That was communicating with impact. I thought first when I had the glance, I was fuzzy a little, but that helped me a lot.
Okay. If you could bring one thing from the US to India, what would it be? Chocolates. Your favorite chocolate?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Nice. Most random thing you packed but never used?
Wow.
It's not too difficult.
I don't pack anything like that though.
Okay.
I just keep what I want.
Nice.
I don't think there's anything like that.
Weirdest thing you have ever eaten abroad? I know I've asked this earlier as well.
That dumpling.
That dumpling, okay. If your student life had a theme song, what would it be?
A theme song? I think it should be very, energizing.
Uh-huh.
I think it should be. I wouldn't say it should be.
Call it "We Will Rock You" by the
We
Queens.
will rock you for sure, for sure, for sure. Me and my friends are like that. We will rock you.
The last one, most overused phrase you have heard since moving abroad.
A lot of that I can't say on camera, but for sure. A little slur.
Okay.
But yes.
Do you turn heads when you hear somebody talking in Hindi or
Oh,
taking
for sure.
some
Yeah,
phrases?
I have instance there. Like someone was talking in Telugu, and me and my sister were like this. कौन हो तुम भाई आजा 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 बात करो
No, let's talk.
Yes, let's talk. So we right there beside we just sat down right there and we started talking like in a cafe.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, do you think it's worth investing so much in the higher education abroad?
For sure, for sure. When I saw the finances and what a grad school takes from you financially, I think that's quite heavy. But the experience they provide, I think you can get an ROI exponentially. That's the main thing that you have to look out for. That if you're investing something so heavy, you should have the returns.
Right.
So I come from a very Marwari family, so I think about returns very fast.
Right. So, tell me if you agree with this or not. Even though if it is expensive, the amount of experience and exposure it is giving, it is worth investing, right or wrong?
Yes, it is right to invest in your higher education if you have a clear view.
Correct.
Don't go to a higher education or a grad school if you don't have something on your mind. If you want to do something, go for it. And also, it doesn't have to be so expensive. You can receive scholarships like I have. On my second degree, I have a 100% scholarship.
Right.
Yeah, so I can go for it if I want to.
So there are a lot of scholarships
There are a
available.
lot of scholarships that you can have your hands on.
Right.
That's amazing.
And what does it take to apply to the scholarships?
For the scholarship, I think grades, your pre-grades.
So if I contribute to this, showcase who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about,
totally.
and then you get scholarships based on what impact you make into the community.
There might be also for a number of scholarship you also have to write entrance exam like GMAT or GRE or something like that or TOEFL. But I don't think like every scholarship requires that. I think they check your background first and they check what you're going to do there.
Right. So just for the information of our viewers, there are a lot of scholarships available with the institutions. They get a lot of grants, they get a lot of money from donations, which they want to distribute it to the talented and skilled students. And to apply to those scholarships, you have to showcase how different you are from the other students. So that is what something I think it will be very useful for the students to know if those grants and scholarships are available and just apply to that. It might take just an essay or maybe 200, 500 words of essay to be eligible to get that scholarship, right?
You just have to show that why should they give you a scholarship and why do you want a scholarship. Like it's not just about that I'm coming from a financially weak background, but it could also be that I want to thrive in such an environment and how I'm different from, how I stand out from every other student.
Right. So before starting this, we spoke to a lot of students and asked them that, what is it that you want to know from the students who are already living there or who have already completed their education there? And they have given us some questions. I would ask you one question at a time. Let's see what advice do you have for them or what answer do you have for their questions. So what's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody considering studying abroad?
One piece of advice, don't get stuck in your preconceived notions about higher studies or even about people, about the cultures there. Be open-minded, be confident, be self-aware.
Correct. So any tips do you have for students with who are facing homesickness?
Homesickness, if you're homesick, definitely make your very own people. Find those people who have common ground with you. Go out with them, enjoy.
Maybe the language, the food.
I'm not saying that would eliminate the homesickness. Obviously, homesickness is something that doesn't go away just by making friends or something like that.
Right.
It would distract you.
Right.
But for sure, keep in contact with your family every day. Talk
Makes
to
you
them,
feel good.
Makes you very feel good. Makes you very confident.
Right. So somebody asked, what are your thoughts on possibility of Trump returning to power? Of course, now that he has returned to power, how do you think it might affect students? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this was an ongoing debate before I just came here.
Uh-huh.
So the Trump's presidency, I think, yeah, it's a bit tricky. It puts a lot of rigor on immigrants. But I don't think that it should be a lot of problem for students who want to study abroad, like maybe in US, if they are trying to come there. I would just say, from my very own opinion, I think Mr. Trump is just worried about the illegal immigrants and people who are working illegally, misusing the facilities totally, and illegally working there, getting themselves employed.
Right.
That is not one right thing to do there. So I think don't get him furious, man.
Correct. Correct. Biggest cultural shock moment and how did you handle it?
Biggest cultural shock moment. Oh, I have a friend who is from Mongolia, who shares a little bit of border with China, and so he looks a little Asian. So he interests me in a lot of stuff. He puts me in a pickle. Like he knows a lot of stuff about India. So I think it's not just that people don't love India or people have a bad opinion about India. I think people love India. I think you just have to give them a lot more.
The right picture.
The right picture
of what
India,
it is.
what we are.
Right. Correct. What's the smartest money saving tip for students abroad?
Smartest, cook yourself. Don't overspend on partying. Don't go for vague expenses that you would later regret the next morning. And yeah, for sure. That's all. Just be yourself and don't overspend like left and right. Be in your own.
And what is the best way to make friends in a new country?
Yes, so I think I have had a conversation with an expert about this. Not totally in a professional manner, just a very casual conversation like we had just for 5 minutes. Like, what's the best way to make friends? So I think the best way is to just go and be polite to people, be more open. Even though you're an introvert, you don't always have to stay an introvert for life. Go experience new things, talk to more new people, find common ground.
It's not always true that people who are introvert by their nature, do not have friends. Even they have friends, right? It's their own way of making friends.
Yeah, true. I don't think that introverts are any less than extroverts.
Correct.
I think when they have their own very good environment, they are upper than extroverts. I think because they do feel surprised by something.
Like you mentioned in the beginning, networking events are the best way to best place to be in to make new friends. You will find the friends of your way of nature, behavior, whatever you like. The people will be there. So it's just that you have to be at the right place and find the right person.
Totally. Even though if it's not advantageous directly to you, you can just go there and let go of your anxiety.
Correct. Absolutely. So any advice for balancing studies, work and fun?
Oh yeah, it's very important to maintain the right kind of balance. I would have no personal advice like that. Just be chill with your own very mind. Don't put yourself in a lot of stress. Go out, have fun, party with your friends, eat with your friends, go experience new things, put your everything in school, blood, sweat, everything. Just give it your all. If you give it your all, I'm for sure you'll feel amazing. At the end of the day, when you go to sleep, you'll be happy with yourself.
One thing I've observed when I was there, I feel that the best way to balance is to have your calendar booked. So when you have your work, make sure that it is on your calendar. When you have fun time, make sure it is there on your calendar. And when you have study time, make sure it is in your calendar and just keep following the calendar. It doesn't have to be monotonous. It doesn't have to be a routine. But if it's there, you know that you have to make sure that it is to be done at the right time. And then it is automatically balanced. And then keep your few days open, maybe the Saturdays and Sundays, the weekend open. Do whatever you want to do or do whatever you feel like. Right? Go shopping. If you don't want to shop, it's okay. But do not end up without groceries in your kitchen, right? Make sure that you have proper food available so that you don't fall sick because of hunger and all.
Yes, for sure.
Correct? Yeah. Yes. So I have seen a lot of people, not just the Americans, because I've seen Americans following the calendar very strictly.
Yes.
They do not move even a minute from the calendar. Even if it's a weekend, they know that weekend is their family time.
True.
If you say just I need to speak for 15-20 minutes, half an hour, they say no, it's my family time.
Yeah.
They will be with the family. Not just the Americans, I've seen the Indians getting into the same culture while being in the US and also in India while they are in India. Everybody, if they put it in the calendar, it's very easy to.
I think it's
go
not just
about.
an American culture. It's not their.
It's the
thing
way of
that they
living.
own. It's their way of living. I think even I'm not telling that go and follow their culture. If we embed good things from their culture, what's wrong in that? So I think that if you can be a little more on time, like with yourself, not to others, that's very amazing. Even if you don't work out with a routine, you just have emphasis on everything.
Correct. So, what is something about studying abroad that no one tells you, but you wish they did?
That they did.
Yeah.
You would be so excited to be in such a energized environment that you would thrive.
Correct.
For yourself, don't worry about ifs and buts. Just go with it. Just believe in yourself. Just believe that when in that energy, you will give it to your all.
I have one additional question from my side. Was there something which you knew and others did not when you all landed there? Your cohort.
Yes.
It was only you who knew, okay, this is what it is there, and the others didn't know that. What was that one thing?
I think apart from the resources that I had like filtered, I went through every resource that my campus offers, that my university offers. Not just about the facilities on campus, but also about. So I was thinking how just a little thing that how I can travel from airport to my place. You also have free shuttles. Airport से free shuttles होते हैं that can go, get you on very
To the
place.
downtown.
To the downtown, anywhere. It has a lot of connectivity.
Right.
So not just resources that are available on your portal, but also resources from different places that can help you a lot actually. That has helped me a lot actually.
Correct. I have seen in multiple cities and the universities that universities provide those travel cards to the students. They can use it on the buses, trains. Because they are a student, they get to use things for free. That was one. I have also seen students getting free ride. If they are a student, they just have to show their ID card and they get a free ride on the buses in multiple cities, not just in Boston.
True.
I've seen that in Greensboro.
I've heard that too, yeah.
I've seen that in Memphis. I've seen that in Seattle. That if you are a student, just show your ID card and you get a
Your
free
student
ride.
ID can get you a lot of things. Can get you into every place for free, almost for free,
Right.
or at reduced fares. So even at train stations, if you buy a card, metro card, you have that student eligibility. That if you're a student at any university, if you just show them that ID, they would have a reduced fare for you, or even free rides, like you said. Almost every city has that.
Correct.
For sure, I believe that I have road, like for free rides. Yeah. So it's very important to know what your student ID can do.
Absolutely. Wow, we have had an amazing conversation today. It was really great to know that know how your journey was from India to the US. Now that you're back in India, it was really great of you that you took time out to come here, talk to us. Thank you so much for your time and your inputs. I'm sure the viewers will definitely enjoy and take a lot of inputs from your conversation and your experiences. Right. So, any advices from you which I might have missed, which you wanted to give it to our?
Yes, I think this conversation has covered a lot of advices from you and either from me, although I'm not someone to give a lot of advices. I have just been there 4 months. But from my personal experiences, I have tried to show you everything that I have experienced it myself. So I think, yes, although it can be very intimidating process, it's very fun, it's very exciting. And I think there's a lot of great help coming from Anurag sir, Ankit sir, and the whole One Window education team. I think it's very important for you to visualize. And this podcast, I think it gives that experience to everyone. So I think, yeah, share it as much as possible for your own purposes, too, for your educational purposes, for obvious reasons. But yes, I think it's a great help. And I would thank you for having me here. It's a great honor, and more than an honor, I'm so excited to be a part of this journey. I think it's very important.
Thank you so much for sharing all that, which the students can definitely use it. They go to whichever country, whichever city. I think the inputs which you have given are really life saving.
Thank you so much.
Can make their life very simple. If they know, okay, this is how it can be, they can imagine themselves in your shoes, watching those skyscrapers, those moments within the city. So thank you so much, Rishabh. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for having me. Thank you.
Take care.